thought we'd build a DIY fireplace that could be used in a house, in an apartment, or just about anywhere you live. Now this fireplace will be primarily aesthetic. In other words, it's not going to actually put off any heat, but it will look like a real flame and have that nice popping sound that we all enjoy. Now I wrote down exactly what we need so you can run out to the store and buy these if you want to follow along. Now first off, we need 2 boards that are 2 by 8 by 8. Then we need 1 board that is a 2 by 10. We need 1 board that is a 2 by 4, 1 board that is a 2 by 3, and 1 board that is a 1 by 3. We're going to also need 5 cedar fence pickets. Now try and pick out the best pickets because they're kind of the outside trim that makes this look really nice. And one last thing before we get started is if by chance you have a table saw. You don't have to for this build, but if you do have a table saw, then you don't have to buy the 2 by 4 and the 2 by 3. You'll have a little left over from one of the 2 by 8s and you can rip down those sizes from that. For our first cuts, we're going to cut down the 2 by 10 and the 2 by 8s. Now the 2 by 10, we needed a piece at 43 inches. On the 2 by 8s, we need 2 boards at 50.5 or 50.5 and 1 board at 36. For the next step, I grabbed my pocket hole jig. Now I do recommend these for beginners because they are very handy. If you don't have one of these and you're interested, I'll put a link to that in the description. Looking at the 2 by 8 that is 36 inches long, we want to put 2 pocket holes on both ends of this board. Once those 4 holes are in place, we can set that board to the side for just a minute. And we're going to look at the 50.5 inch long pieces. Again, these are the 2 by 8s. Now we want to, again, do some pocket holes, but only in one end of each of these boards. Not both, just one end. Now watch out for any large knots that might be on the ends there, because first off, it's a little hard to drill through those, and secondly, it doesn't make that great of a connection. Now I've had to move these over to my table saw because I have a height clearance issue because these boards are so long. So keep in mind when you are drilling out these holes, watch out for your ceiling. Now I've taken one of the 50.5 inch long boards and I've clamped it on edge so it doesn't move easily. Now the pocket holes I put on this are on the opposite end, towards the inside still, but on the opposite end. That's going to be the top, this is going to be the bottom. Now we've measured in 1.5 inches and I'm going to grab that 36 inch long board with those other pocket holes. We are going to attach those together. And once these screws are in place, you want to do the same process to the opposite side with the additional 50.5 inch long board, making sure that the top pocket holes are to the inside. Next up, we're going to jump to the 2 by 10. We want to look at both sides and see which side is the prettiest. I like the idea of the knots showing, just kind of gives it some character. So I'm going to make this my top. So I'm going to face it straight down. Take your measuring tape and I'm going to measure in 2 inches on each side and make a mark. Then we're going to place the 2 by 10 right there on top of those sides that we attached earlier. We want to make sure that the outsides here line up with those 2-inch marks we just made. Also, I'm actually standing at the back of this, so I need to make sure that the back side of this wood is nice and flush with the top. And once again, attach it all together using those pocket screws. Now the inner frame is now complete and we're going to build most of the stuff off of this. Keep in mind with one thing though, this top piece is going to be your mantle. So try your best not to dent it or scratch it, or in the future you may have to replace it. Otherwise, let's keep going. Next up, we need to grab 3 of our fence pickets. Now you want to find the ones that are somewhat close in color. In other words, sometimes these pickets have some major contrast. You can see a little bit here where it's a lot lighter on this side than it is on this side. So you want to find the pickets that at least somewhat look together. You don't want the ones that have drastic different color changes. Otherwise, it won't look great once everything's in place. And I cut those boards down to 2 at 50.5 inches and 1 at 28 inches. At this point, it's a good idea to do a test fit to make sure everything lines up. Now these new pieces go right on the front of our legs. Think of it as like a piece of trim. And we're going to test fit it. And it is actually quite on the tight side there. It could potentially interfere with keeping it level on the floor. So I think what I'm going to do is actually going to remove about 1/8 of an inch from the top here. And that way, once I have it in position, hopefully it won't interfere with it sitting flat. And that fits so much nicer now. See how there's a little bit of clearance there? That's just what we need. Now I've laid the frame onto its back. I'm a little limited on space in my shop, so I'm sorry if it's not the best view, but by laying it on its back, it should allow us to install these side pieces a little bit easier because we're not fighting gravity as much. Also, we have that 28-inch piece that we cut earlier as well, and we want to make sure that it will line up along the bottom here with those 50.5-inch pieces that we cut just a moment ago. Now here's a huge tip when installing these on the sides. We first need to look at the ends here. Figure out which way this wood is cupping. You want it so that it looks like a rainbow, looks like an arch like that. You do not want it the other way. If you have it kind of like a rainbow here, when it's in place, it'll actually push down in the center and look nice and just everything tight together. But if you were to have it the other way and have it secured, that inside will flare up and it'll look like it's trying to separate from the wood and won't look right. To install these side pieces in place, we want to make sure that the outside edge here is going to be flush with this outside edge from top to bottom, or somewhat similar to that. To hold these in place, I would strongly suggest using glue all the way down the piece here, making sure that it'll have a nice strong connection. But you could also use maybe some brad nails or screws or whatever you like to hold it in place. Here's another little tip for you. When you are clamping it down to let that glue dry, make sure you have some kind of a scrap piece of wood or maybe some thick craft sticks or something on top of the cedar, because that cedar is real easy to crush and you don't want to deform it. So by putting those little spacers in there, it allows you to clamp it down decently tight without messing up your wood. Now before we install our second side, we want to take a quick measurement with that 28-inch long piece. It'll fit right there even with the bottom of these two boards. And we want to see how close this will be on the edge here. I think it's going to be really, really tight fit there, which might be just perfect. But if it was sticking out too far on this side, you may want to trim the inner board just a little bit so that everything will sit nice and flush on the end. At this point, we need to give that glue some time to dry, so we'll start cutting out the rest of our pieces. Next up, we want to grab our 2x3. We want to cut a 36-inch section out of it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you happen to have a table saw, you can take that extra 2x8 that we had left over and you can rip it down to that size so you don't have to buy that board. But of course, if you don't have a table saw, just buy a 2x3 and cut that to 36 inches. With that 2x3 cut the size, we're going to set it to the side for just a moment and focus on our fence pickets. We should have 2.5 full-size pieces left. I say half because we had used one for that 28-inch long section. We need to now cut 5 pieces down at just a hair under 36 inches. We're actually going to set it in an area that's 36 inches wide, and if we cut it exactly that, it might be just too tight to fit in there. So maybe about 1/8 of an inch shy of 36 inches. Again, 5 pieces at that length. When we do that, some of them will actually have these dog ears on it, but that's okay. This section will actually be hidden, so no worries about that. With all of these cut out, it's now a good idea to kind of space them out on one of your tables to just kind of get an idea of how they are going to look. Mix and match in whatever formation you want to make them look good to you. Also keep in mind that the edge of our 2x4 down here will also be seam, so we want to get that pretty close to the color of the last board down there. I think those will match nicely. Then right down on the ends of our boards, since these little sections down here will be hidden, we want to number these off so we know exactly which order we want to keep these in. We next need to cut down our 1x3. We need 3 different sections. One of them will be at 28 inches and 2 of them will be at 16.25. And you're almost done cutting. In fact, you just need to cut the 2x4 down into 36 inches. And that should be all of your major cuts. At this point, we need to grab that pocket hole jig one more time so we can make a few holes. Now we need this jig so we can put holes on both ends of each of the 2x4 and the 2x3 that we just cut down. So remember, both ends. After giving this frame plenty of time to dry, we're going to try and flip it up onto its feet so we can assemble it the rest of the way. Now looking at the back of our frame here, we want to take our measuring tape and we want to measure up from the board that we installed 18 inches and make a mark on both sides. Then we're going to grab that 2x3 that we cut down earlier with the pocket holes, and this might be a tight fit. should be just about right. We want to line the bottom of our board right with those marks on each side and install those screws. With the 2x3 now in place, we need to grab the 1x3s. Now, the 28-inch piece is going to go along the 28-inch bottom. And we want to make sure that it is nice and flush with the top edge, like so. And then the 16 1/4 will go along the outer edges on both sides, about like so. In any case, you can glue this in position, you can nail it in position, or you can use pocket screws, which is what I believe I'm going to do. With the 1x3s now in place, I've flipped this onto its face very carefully, making sure not to dent it or scratch it. It's now time to start installing those fence pickets, and we're going to do that up at the top here. Remember, we have these marks, so we know exactly the number and order that we want them in, so make sure you get them in that order. Once you have all the boards in place, you'll notice that there's a little bit of room left over. If we space these out, there's probably about a 1/4 inch or maybe just slightly more in between these boards. So what we're going to do is take some craft sticks or popsicle sticks. We want to actually put a little bit of space in between each of these. And the reason why is over time you will have expansion and contraction, and you want to make sure that there's just a little bit of room in there for that so they don't bind on each other and break. So just take a little popsicle stick or craft stick and place them in between each of these boards, and as you go down, that space should get smaller and smaller. And to hold these in place, you can glue them in, you can screw them in, or in my case, I'm just going to use some brad nails. It's now time to install the last piece. This is that 2x4 at 36 inches. I'm going to slide it right up here in the top. And once we have it in place, we're actually going to raise it up just a little bit off of our boards down there and install it using those pocket holes or pocket screws. The reason why is we want to give some extra strength to your mantle up here, just in case you display a number of things, it's less likely for it to warp. And here is the final result. Beautiful little mantle. But wait a second, there is no fire. Hold on, I can fix that real quick. And to fix that, all we need is a 32-inch TV that should fit right behind it. So let's test it out. And there we go. A cool little fireplace using an inexpensive TV, especially with the prices of TVs going way down these days. That's very inexpensive. Also, it looks really nice. You can always go back and add a nice finish to this, or maybe even a nice stain to it to create a nice little finish. You may even want to go in here on the inside and stain this kind of a dark black or dark charcoal gray to give it a little bit more of that look. Whatever you want to do. In any case, I really hope you get a chance to make one of these.